So now let's talk about function. So you might already seen some equation or expressions like this one. F of x is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. S of t is equal to negative 32t plus 16. Or even g of h is equal to some function h plus 1. So what actually is a function? And how do we determine if an equation is a function or not? So a function is basically an expression or a relation of expression that for every input you have, you must only have one corresponding output. To determine a function using this table, all you need to check is the x's and the y's. So if you see here that x's repeats or you input the same value and you get different outputs, that is not a function. But here, if you input different x's like 3 and 4 and you get an output the same like 9, it is a function, right? Just like the graph of y is equal to x squared. So y is equal to x squared. So notice that if I input here negative 2, so what's negative 2 squared? So that's my x, right? So negative 2 squared is 4. So I get the same 4. And if I input positive 2, so 2 squared is equal to 4 as well. So notice that I have different x's here, negative 2 and 2, but I get the same output which is 4. This is a function, right? So that's it. That's how you determine whether a relation is a function or not. In high school, they actually draw a map, and then if 0 goes to 2, or if I have 0 and it has an output y which is 2, and then 1 to 5, 2 to negative 3, that is a function. Then on the other hand, if I have this map here, still x, y, and I get 0, 1, 2, and if I input 0, I get 2, 5, negative 3. And this, for this one, if I input 0, I get positive 2. And then if I input 1, I get positive 2. This is still a function, right? The only thing that is not a function is if we have this 0, 1, 2, 2, 5, negative 3. If I input 0, I get 2. And then if I input again 0, I get negative 3. So this is not a function. For those who didn't understand it yet, let's have an analogy. So in polygamy, those men can have more than one wives, right? So let's view the input x as the wife, while y or the output as the husbands. So if we have a wife that belongs to only one man, or she has only one husband, then this would function, right? Because this is our tradition that if you have if you are a woman, you only have one husband. So that's the first scenario. So if a wife has only one husband, it's a function. Or in other words, if a husband or a man has only one wife, then that would function. So the second case is if a husband has two wives, right? These are his wives. So this also is a function or would function in terms of functions. So a husband in polygamy can have one or more wives. So here y has two wives. So those wives are x1 and x2. So that's his wives. And then the third case is a wife has two husbands. I haven't heard of this one, and I don't know if it also functions to polygamy, but in terms of function, this is not a function. All right? I hope you see the logic there. So again, if a husband has only one wife, it functions. If a husband has one or more wives, it is a function because that's polygamy, right? But on the other hand, if a wife belongs to two husbands, or in other words, if two men got the same wives, I don't know if it would work or would function, because if you will imagine two men having only one wife, it's a big trouble. I hope you see that. And this is also how you identify whether an expression or an equation is a function or not. So you might hear already this as well, that for a function to be considered a function, it must pass the vertical line test. So here, it passed the vertical line test. So this is a function. Also, this blue is a function because it has only one point that touches the vertical line. And then the green is also a function. But here is no longer a function because it touches the vertical line at this point 1, 2, and 3. So that's how you check whether a function is a function or not through its graph. So that's function and not a function. Now take a look at this. What if we have a circle whose graph is x squared plus y squared equals 25? So now what? Is that a function or not? Let's check it with the table. So if I input 0 on x, so that's my x, I get y squared equals 25, which in turns gives me two values, which is positive and negative 25. Therefore, if I get a table, and this is my 0, I get 25, and then again 0, negative 25. Therefore, this is not a function. This whole here cannot be a function. But how are we going to make it a function? So to make this equation a function, all we have to do is isolate y. So by means of isolating y, it will become 25 minus x squared, and then square root of, so it has two values, positive, negative 25 minus x squared, and that y equals 25 minus x squared refers to the upper graph, this one here. So that's y equals 25 minus x squared, and y is equal to negative square root of 25 minus x squared is this one. So notice that if we break this down into two parts, two values of y, it became a function. But if the equation looks like this, and as you can see, if you let a vertical line passes this circle, it touches 2 points. So it is not a function if you directly evaluate this. So in order for that to be a function, you need to isolate y. So that's what a function and not a function is. I hope it's now clear to you, because function is important and it's good to be aware of that, because in calculus, we deal a lot on functions. We differentiate functions, we get its limits, we solve for the domain and range, and knowing what a function will help you a lot. So additional, you will see a equals pi r squared. So this is a function. Area is a function of the radius of the circle. So if the radius changes, area also changes. So whatever the value of r, a depends on r. So that's a function. That's what and how a function works and how it represents the happenings in our surroundings. Thanks for watching. Peace out.